Hi, I'm going to talk to you today about how to let go with love and without giving up. If you're the mom of an addicted loved one, your child's addiction is killing you. You probably sleep with the phone somewhere nearby, and every time it rings, you think it's going to be the call, the one that informs you that your child has overdosed. You're probably neglecting your own self care and other members of your family. You've probably spent a lot of money trying to help your child. When you're at work, you're always thinking about your child and where he or she is and what they're doing. You can't talk to everybody about this because people who don't have an addicted loved one don't understand. And when you see your child, you don't even recognize him or her anymore because they just are not very loving. You're exhausted from the cycle and you don't know what to do. Well, if you haven't downloaded the book, How to Let Go Without Giving Up, consider doing that. Just go to momslettinggo.com and download the free ebook. You can also find it on Amazon in a paperback copy. But it's time to start working on your recovery, mom, because you matter. I'm Michelle. I have been in this addiction cycle with our son and daughter-in-law for probably 13 years. We've gone through alcoholism and opioids to heroin to meth. So I know a little bit about what you're going through. I have a business degree, and initially I was an author in multiple genres, a novelist, somebody who loved to tell stories. And now, because of addiction in my family, I'm devoting my time to the ministry of helping moms learn how to let go. I have a podcast at Moms Letting Go Without Giving Up. Feel free to look there. It's on all the different podcast networks. I am currently the guardian of our two grandchildren who are almost 10 and 15. I have three adult children and one who was adopted from a Russian orphanage. She is 24 right now, but I'm an advocate for adoption. And if you have an adopted child, I'd love to talk to you about that sometime. I We've been totally blessed by our daughter. But right now, moms, if you are the mom of an addicted loved one, you are grieving. You are grieving from the loss of dreams that you had for your child. You never expected to be here where you are right now. And for that, I am truly sorry. Allow yourself to go through the stages of grief. Okay, yes, your son or daughter is probably still living, but in a way, you've lost that person because once the addiction devil takes over your child, you don't even hardly recognize your child in the throes of that other devil. Okay. First, when they first started going through it, you went through the shock of believing that it was happening to your child. And depending on where you are in your stages of grief, you may be in any one of these areas right now. Maybe you're in denial, you're trying to avoid the inevitable. And maybe your child hasn't gone to jail or been arrested, and you're just angry at their continued choices. And I understand. Sometimes we start bargaining for a way out. Like we'll bargain with our child. If you do this, then I'll do this, because we just keep thinking that it's going to get better. Maybe you're at the depressive stage where you realize, oh no, it's not getting any better. It's not going to get any better. And maybe you're at the stage where you are accepting what is, and you're just wondering how you're going to go forward. Just allow yourself, understand that you may be at any one stage of this grieving process. And you may bounce back and forth from the different stages, in the different stages. But just be kind to yourself and know that what you're going through right now is a huge loss. Moms nurture, we love, we kiss our children's boo boos every time they fall. We're there for them. We know our child better than anyone. But our adult children, once they become adults, we have to allow them to take responsibility, because in order for them to build self esteem, that's what we do. From the time our children are born, moms are learning the art of letting go. When they first start crawling and walking and they fall down, and they learn from that and they get back up. And yes, they have bruises and they bump their head, and sometimes there's lacerations, but they learn where the boundaries are, what they can and can't do without the consequences. And even when they start driving, we are learning how to let go, but we want them to be independent. That's our goal, is to help them be self-sufficient, become independent. And our adult children, once they get to be adults, need moms to believe in them. And I know it's hard when they're using drugs, but um, this is what they need. And in order to become independent, we have to let them go, to take responsibility and to build their self-esteem. So when scientists and when social workers study how do we help our children build self-esteem, or how does self-esteem build in a person, they go through these things where they get a job, maybe they plant a garden, they do something to see the benefits, the reward of all their hard work. Think of you and all the things that you did and where you are right now to build resilience. You had to go through it. And in doing so, you built your self-esteem. Maybe you went to college, but you took care of yourself. Maybe you volunteer to help others. You exercise. You repeat positive statements about yourself. These are the ways that we build self-esteem. We can't do it for our children. When they're young, we help do that. But once they become adults, we can no longer do that for them. They have to get a job on their own. We can't get their job for them. So detaching becomes really important in our self-care. Physical distancing, if you've been a part of the quarantine, you know how effective it is at building positive relationships. Like, it kind of breathes fresh air into our relationships when we don't see everybody all the time. We miss them, right? So it's very powerful when we can physically distance. And when you're not there in your adult child's life, you empower them to do the right thing. And they might not, but if they do, they will learn and achieve that sense of accomplishment. If they don't, if they make the wrong choice, they face the consequences and they learn from them. When we aren't there in their lives, we aren't allowed to we aren't there to enable them, to keep bailing them out of whatever it is, whatever the problem is that they're not coping with. Detaching, letting go, is an act of love. It's saying, I love you enough not to contribute to your addiction. Because even if we buy them groceries, right, that's money that they need to be earning on their own. And if we buy their groceries, that money is going to be going toward their drugs. When we detach, we are saying, I believe you have the strength to do this on your own. I believe. It's not easy to believe that, especially when they're in active addiction, because inside we don't really believe that they're capable. But the more we can let go, the more they will learn. Because if they continue to see us, what happens is every time they look at us, they're filled with shame, because they want their mothers to be proud of them. And how can they be proud of their behavior when they're so ashamed, right? And if they sometimes children won't, they'll say, they'll stay away from their mom, they'll text her terrible things, or they won't call even on her birthday or anything. It's because they're locked in their own shame, and they have a way of manipulating that onto moms who then think it's their fault, which is not true. Not true. So you can't live your child's life for them. You can't get them well because you're not responsible. You're powerless. It's not your job to be their Holy Spirit and to rescue them. The more you enable, the longer your child will be stuck. If you think of it this way, our job is to get them into recovery, right? That's our goal. We can't do it for them. So if we stop enabling along the way, and they have to take consequences, if they have to go to jail, whatever it is that they're doing, it's going to help them get better sooner because they're going to realize they're the only ones who can do it for themselves. So find a positive mantra. Yoga has been known to help us realign ourselves and what matters to us. So finding a positive mantra might be, oh my gosh, my child's texting me right now. I can't engage. I can't react. I'm trying to let go. So you might say things like, I will trust God. My latest is, I will choose calm. I will choose calm. I will choose calm. And I don't allow anybody to upset that. You might say, I didn't cause this. I can't cure it, and I can't control it. And continue to say that to yourself when you're in that stressed out mode. Maybe it's my life matters, or this is my child's journey. I will pray for him. I will pray for her. I will pray that they get into treatment. Whatever it is, find that mantra that works for you. Find support. Join our Moms Letting Go Facebook page. We are a group of moms, and we're all in the same boat. So commiserate with us there. It's a private group. So everything you say, nothing you will be on your own timeline for other people to say. Only people in the group can see that. Find a counselor that you can see once a month and just purge all those exasperating thoughts, right? Stand in nature to choose calm, to find calm. Study the 12 steps of recovery because we are in recovery. Talk to a recovering addict. This will empower you to know what your child has to go through. It will empower you to understand why you're detaching, why you're letting go with love. It's not forever. It's just for now until they can find their way to recovery. Educate yourself on the disease so that you can be empowered to do the next right thing. And volunteer to reduce the stigma, to help in recovery centers in your area if you feel the need to, give back in some way. Your self-care is the most important thing because you can't give somebody what you don't have. And if you don't love yourself and if you're not well, you can't help anybody else. If you don't take care of your wellness, you'll be forced to take care of your illness. So one very proactive thing you can do is be ready. When your child finally decides to get into recovery, don't be squirming to find the right place for them to go for rehab. Get ready now so that when that happens, you can capitalize on it. Research resources in your area or other areas where you might want to send your child. There are free options. There are expensive options. Know which each has. Talk to your child about recovery and put them in the illustration of what their life will look like if they can get rid of, this problem in their life. Look into treatment programs and understand how long their programs are, because the longer they're in treatment, the more hopeful their success will be. Find out if the place that you're sending them to will have a transitional sober care sober living arrangement? Do they help them find jobs if they have felonies? And do they have a dual diagnosis treatment program? Do they work with a psychiatrist who understands that mental health disorders and traumas are a part of addiction? This is super important because we want to help the entire person. Oftentimes, the mental health disorder and the addiction go hand in hand. So it's important to work with a team approach who understand that. So get your one sheet ready. Make a list of everything on there that you need to know so that when your child is ready, that's when you can help facilitate and to get them into a proper treatment program. So the time is now for you. Accept that you aren't in control. Trust yourself. Trust God. Learn how this is not your fault. Practice mindfulness and movement and find ways to heal. Recovery is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not in control, but let go of the expectations. Don't expect anything from your addicted loved one. Expect it from yourself. If your addicted loved one loses his job, loses his girlfriend or his boyfriend, his children, these are the consequences of his or her actions. When we interfere, we get in God's way. Your child is on a journey. God is molding him or her for great things in his life. Believe that. Trust in God. Join the Mighty Mom movement. I'm all about empowering you, moms of addicted loved ones. We together can stop the stigma. You can educate your community, and you can find resources for your child and other adult children who need help. The sooner we join as a team to change the way addiction is handled in our communities, the sooner we can get over this epidemic, the sooner we can get help for our children. It's the stigma that keeps them locked in addiction, in the cycle. They're embarrassed, they're full of shame, they want to handle it on their own. But you don't see heart patients or diabetic patients handling it on their own. They're always given a treatment plan. Help your child to see that he or she is not alone in this journey, and that together, if we find a team approach to helping them on their recovery, in their recovery, they can get well and live a purposeful life. I believe that for you and your loved one. So download the book, momslettinggo.com. Join our support team and look for my other videos in this video series to empower you on your journey. God bless.